Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of In Case You Didn't Know, Settlement Survival. In this video, I'll touch upon the bare basics of logistics by explaining how transfer stations and supply stations work. Let's get started with the transfer station. So the transfer station essentially works as a warehouse, where workers bring items and place them inside the station as storage. The transporters working in the station will try to keep this empty by moving items inside to the nearest non-full warehouse outside of the blue zone. This is very effective for transferring raw materials out, like corn, so it can later be used as fodder. This way, by placing transfer stations near your farms, farmers can finish their harvest faster by dumping their inventories into a nearby transfer station rather than a warehouse further away. The transporters will move those items to the outside warehouse in place for those farmers. However, the transfer station does have a max capacity, which can be doubled with the expansion remodel. If a transfer station is full, workers will treat it as a full warehouse and take their items to the next nearest non-full warehouse or another transfer station with space. This will slow your efficiency if this happens, so it's best to have multiple transfer stations in areas that have excessive amounts of resources coming in. The transfer station is one of the few buildings that support the animal power tech that allows the use of horses and donkeys. This tech will give each transporter in a transfer station an additional carry weight of 500 to allow them to move more items out at once. The transfer station allows production workers to spend more time working and less time transporting their goods, which leads to faster harvest times, increased yields at fishing docks, amongst many other efficiencies due to the increase of time spent working. The supply station is sort of the opposite. The supplier's job is to, supply items to production buildings inside its blue zone. You can tell your suppliers which items they need to retrieve for your production buildings and how much to get. Once you make your list of items to get, suppliers will gather those items from warehouses or supply yards, bring them back to the station, then deliver them to their corresponding buildings. Let's take iron for instance. I have 250 iron ore listed in my supply station. Suppliers will bring back iron from the nearest warehouse that has it. That 250 iron will appear in the inventory slot of the station. Once there, a supplier will take that iron ore and take it to a building inside its blue zone that uses it, like the smelter. Just like the transfer station, this improves efficiency by allowing production workers to keep working, while suppliers are constantly refilling their inventories with the selected items. Since the supply station will only supply buildings inside its blue zone, I prefer to create production districts and placing supply stations in the middle to cover as many buildings as possible. Having production buildings that share resources inside the same supply station coverage is very effective. There are two types of supply stations, small and just normal stations. The small supply station only has a max work capacity of 2 suppliers and have a much smaller inventory space, but can be slightly increased with the expansion remodel. The supply station can support up to 5 suppliers and have a much larger inventory that can also be further upgraded. Unlike the small station, the supply station can utilize horses and donkeys to increase the workers' weight capacity by 500. The supply station really is a powerful asset to your supply chains. I use them in most of my major productions like industry and food. Any ability that keeps your workers producing and not wasting time doing anything else is key to efficient logistics. Combining supply stations with transfer stations will really improve your production efficiency. Your items spend less time sitting in storage and get processed into other items. Overall, it allows you to produce more goods in less amount of time. And this is just scratching the surface of supply chains. There is no one way to use and place transfer and supply stations, so experiment with your city and these buildings to see what fits your settlement the best. In a future video, I will go more in depth into logistics by using these buildings along with storage placement, carry capacity, and other efficient techniques. So that's it for this video. I hope I was able to explain basic logistics by showing you how to use the transfer and supply stations. And a small shout out to AstraJ91 for explaining logistics and supply chains to me. This video would not be possible without you. I plan and hope to make this a full series where I cover more topics like this in settlement survival, so subscribe to not miss out on any future videos I may make. Thank you guys for watching this first video of In Case You Didn't Know, Settlement Survival. Good luck out there on your settlements, and till next time.